Hey Space-on, I'm Daisy Victoria. I hope you are having an amazing day. Today I am going to pretend that I'm attending the Met Gala. For the fashion world, the first Monday in May is a magical holiday in which we are transported to a gala at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And while we may not all be invited to the gala, many of us enjoy watching the fashions that go down the red carpet. This is a time when guests of the Met Gala get to really go all out with their outfits, and it's just always showing us really amazing style. It's kind of where fashion meets costume. It's where my imagination lives, and it's my favorite type of fashion. So I am always all about looking at the Met Gala looks and picking my favorites and just enjoying all of them. The Met Gala has a theme each year, and guests are encouraged to dress according to the theme. This year's Met Gala was themed around Karl Lagerfeld, and that's because there's an exhibit opening at the Met Gala which honors Karl Lagerfeld's career. Karl designed some of the iconic looks that we all know from fashion, and it was so amazing to see how some of the different looks on the red carpet paid homage to him, paid homage to his different designs throughout the years. Some even wore vintage dresses that he designed, but there were a few that were my absolute favorites. So let me tell you, Karl Lagerfeld had a cat named Choupette, which is French for sweetie. And this cat is freaking adorable, okay? Like, this cat is so cute and I really want to pet it. There were a few guests of the Met Gala who dressed up in homage to Choupette. My favorite was Jared Leto, who wore a Choupette fursuit, basically. So good. I also really enjoyed Doja Cat's dress, and she was essentially dressed as Choupette as well. And I ultimately decided that if I was going to go with the Karl theme and pretend that I was at the Met Gala, I too was going to go as the cat because it's me, and yeah, that's what I would do. 100%. So I actually filmed this video more vlog style, so I am talking about it as I go through. I at first thought I would do this as a very quick project, sort of along the lines of what you would see in a reality TV fashion competition show. And the inspiration was because I did watch Next in Fashion, where they did a Met Gala fashion challenge, and it was amazing. Loved it so much. They did the camp theme, which was from a prior Met Gala. So I thought I'll do that sort of thing myself, where I'll just give myself a very short amount of time to make this dress. Usually a challenge like this tends to be like a 2-day challenge. And in doing so, I knew that I would have to start out with materials that were already ready to go. So I wouldn't have to make a lot of handwork on the dress, because I wouldn't have time for 500 hours in 2 days, because that's not physically possible. But I would be able to find some fabrics that I really liked and use those. I went to one of the fabric shops that I like to visit in Houston, and this shop has all sorts of high-end fabrics, laces, embroidered stuff. It's very much catering to exactly this type of design work. So I was able to find some fabrics there that would work very well for my design, and I knew that I could do it quickly using these fabrics. I also had to design my Choupette look. I decided to go for something that went with the Karl theme, and I really like the kind of sheer throughout the body look. He'll often do body hugging dresses that flare at the bottom. So I thought that's something I could do. And that's also the kind of base silhouette of Doja Cat's dress as well, though I decided to opt for a little bit more of the draped fabric look for mine, which you see in some of his other work. Now, this challenge for me did end up taking longer than I expected, and that was not because it took me longer to sew it than expected, but rather because I had a little more difficulty scheduling in my sewing hours into the day than what I had originally had in mind. I had hoped that I could just sit down and do it in several hour chunks or like an actual entire day chunk, but I ended up having to break it up into smaller chunks over more days, ultimately still giving myself about the same amount of time total. So let's get into it and see how it goes. I want to actually do this in a very short time so it can be, one, something I can put the video out quickly and just kind of like capture that Met Gala moment, and two, it's kind of fun to do it more like the reality TV show style, you know? Like I'm thinking Next in Fashion when they did the Met Gala looks. Loved it. Love that show, by the way. Now, obviously for this theme, I'm gonna do the cat. I've got a couple of sketches here. So this one, my boyfriend kind of helped me out on some of the details here on this one. And I like a lot of things about it, but it's kind of getting away from some of the designs that I really liked the best. I then worked on another draft design, updated it a little bit, and came up with this second option. For all the things that kind of go across it, I got this voile. So this is a poly voile in white, and I got a lot, so I can really play with that. And then the real thing that's amazing, I found, actually this was a 2-yard remnant, which was on sale for 25% off, which made it hurt the pocketbook a little less. And this already has all of the ruffles all over it. So some of Karl's collections show, you know, a little bit of this ruffling work on some of the gowns, and it's something that I personally love a lot. And because I did also look at some fabrics that had rosettes all over them, thinking I may do like homage to the whole Chanel roses, but when I saw this one, I was like, this one's more me than the rosettes are, so we're gonna go with this one. Oh, one more note for the ears. I have some samples of different white textured fabrics here that I think I'm gonna be able to use. So that way I don't have to actually buy another fabric, because I think the voile might be a little thin. Well, I'd have to reinforce it anyway, but the point is we'll see, like we'll play with these when we get there. So what's happened is I've sewn those two pieces together. So I have this body shaped piece here. So this is the top. I cut down a little bit in the back, so that way I would know it's the back. I did try this on off camera. I know, you know, it's sheer. Some of you guys might like to see that, but YouTube will not. So, you know, we'll skip that for now, and we'll try it on the mannequin, and we'll put it on me once it's got the overlays that cover. What I found, as expected, because this is very stretchy, it's a little on the loose side. especially at the top. The top is very much on the loose side, and I think that's because I didn't curve down into the under bust quite as much. But essentially what I need to do is take in the whole thing, but just take in the upper portion more than I take in the lower portion. And that is 1 hour for today. It's crazy that all I got done was this in an hour, but the thing is, filming is also part of that hour, so that is taking a little bit longer than it normally would. This material, you know, because I'm sewing around the stones, honestly, hand stitching would go pretty well on this, or I could pick off all the stones in the seam, but because I'm going for time, what I'm trying to do is kind of sew around them. And it is working. It's finicky, but it is taking less time than it would to pick them all off or to hand sew it. So, you know, it's a trade-off. And when you're pressed for time, sometimes you have to choose those trade-offs. Then I'm gonna need to make the skirt out of this and do all of the draping across the dress out of this voile, including a hood with ears. So we will pick back up and try to spend at least several hours on it. What will look like tomorrow, but will actually be after the weekend because today's Friday. All right. I did end up going ahead and fixing the fit of that body piece, and then I put everything away for the day. And we're back at day number 2, and I don't really have that much time today, so this is gonna be about a half hour to an hour today that I'm gonna spend. Really glad that I picked fabrics that don't require me to put in tons of hours, because I just don't have them this week. So anyways, what I'm doing today is I'm gonna take this stuff, the fluffy skirt stuff, I'm gonna cut it in half because it's about twice as tall as I need it for the skirt. And I'm gonna get that prepped and ready to go onto the skirt of the dress, which is over there on the mannequin, fitted, just that sheer underlayer. And then I don't suspect I'm gonna get past the skirt today, but if I do, or really what's gonna be tomorrow, which would still be like day 1 if I was on one of those shows where you have the whole day to work on it. But anyway, the next step will be creating the voile pieces that go across the body of the dress, and voila! Didn't even expect there was gonna be a pun in voile. I like it. It's the next day. I just got back from my morning run and I have a meeting in about an hour. So I'm gonna work on this dress until the meeting, and then after the meeting I'm gonna work on it a little bit longer. So hopefully we'll get it at least a lot of progress today, if not finished. So what I'm doing now is I've cut this, so it was 2 yards of fabric and I've cut it in half. So basically 2, single yard lengths that I sewed together into one big circle. And then I've gathered the top. So I sewed a gathering stitch and now I am gathering it up. So I will gather it to fit the bottom of the body and attach it to there. And then after that, it's gonna be just draping the voile for We'll also have to cut off the selvage, but you know. So it'll be placing the voile, it'll be a lot of draping. I also have horsehair, which I'm going to put around the bottom of the skirt to give it extra volume. So here we go. Today I'm back to work for a couple more hours. I'm looking at the shape of that bottom mermaid skirt area, and I kind of really like it pooling around the floor. However, I tried stuffing some pillows under there from the sofa, and I like how it looks puffed out a little bit. So I got out my mermaid petticoat. Now obviously I can't wear it full on under a sheer gown, but I'm gonna try that on to see if maybe I can just pin the petticoat part to the skirt part and see if that's a good option. And then once I get that, I can go on to the voile. Oh, baby. All right, so I need to go start dinner now. So I'm gonna do the last finishing touches on this tomorrow. We are still well within the hour range of a single day here. And, you know, I think that's indicative of these shows anyway, like doing the final touches right before you take it to runway. So I think that's totally fine. I feel like these ears are a little bit too curved out. Like they're just not a perfect cat ear shape. So I'm gonna trim them a little bit and then I'm gonna stitch them on. And then all I have to do is stick the petticoat underneath. I'm gonna tack it onto the inside of the skirt and that'll be it. All right, so it's time we finish up this dress. I thinned the ears down so they're more pointy, especially when curved. my gosh. So I really think that this captures the essence of this year's Met Gala theme, going as Karl Lagerfeld's cat, Choupette, with some of the themes present in some of Lagerfeld's iconic designs, which honestly are some of the things that have trended throughout, couture and even high fashion and bridal. So I've got the fitted torso, the mermaid silhouette with the ruffles at the bottom and the wall chiffon, opaque pieces placed around the dress, and then of course the ears to be the cat. It was really hard for me to keep going since my project was split up so much. I believe this is roughly like a 6-hour project or so in the grand total of adding the work times together. However, splitting it up that way took away the ability to go into flow. So some of you guys may be familiar with a flow state, which is, there's a whole category of flow arts and performance, which is basically your body getting into flow, your mind getting into flow. So when you're in a flow state, you just kind of go, and you're in the zone, So working on a project like this, typically I would get into a flow state during the day and I would go, and just like kind of hype off myself and keep going. But because I split it up so much, I wasn't able to do that. And so I lost interest in between. Like each time I picked it back up, it was kind of agonizing to pick it back up again, knowing I'd have to put it right back down. So that's something that I think we can gain some insight into, at least I know I can. So I am going to take some pictures of Choupette against my wall, though my wall is white, and either I'm going to put up a color or I might take the dress outside. I think I'll put up a color. But I'm going to take some pictures of the dress, and then I'm going to get all my makeup and stuff on and put this on. Honestly, I'll probably do it tomorrow and do like a little, runway show / Met Gala red carpet walk sort of thing, so we can see the whole thing coming together. My runway presentation of Choupette is a little less grand than the Met Gala. It's just in my house, but that's okay. I had a lot of fun doing this Choupette dress, and I think it looks very stunning. What did you think of this project? What did you think of the Met Gala theme this year? And if you got invited to the Met Gala, what would you wear? Let me know in the comments what your Met Gala outfit would look like. If you do take inspiration from this video and create your own art, I would love to see it. You can find me on all the social medias as Daisy Viktoria. My website is daisyviktoria.com, and a special thank you to my patrons over on Patreon who help support me to continue creating content for all of you. I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.